These are the sitting foot circles and point flexes. So you just want to first sit down. If you're able to tilt your hips forward to get that arch in your lower back, that is the correct sitting position. If that's too painful for you to do, then just sitting the way that feels comfortable to you is just fine to start with. So sitting with your feet flat on the floor, I'm going to start with my left foot. You're going to bring your left leg up, just have your lower leg kind of just hanging out there, and you're just going to trace circles with your ankle. Now I'm wearing my toe separators, like that, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But all you're going to do is you're just going to trace circles. Pick a number if you want, 15, 20. Let's say if you pick 20, you want to circle your ankle around 20 times one way, and then 20 times the other way, and then point and flex, but I will demonstrate that for you. So as you're circling your ankles, you want your toes to lead and the rest of your foot to follow. You might feel that your lower leg would want to kind of wobble around a little bit like that, but do your best. You can hold it even if you want to. Do your best to have your lower leg as steady and stable as possible. And you're tracing those big circles, having your toes lead and your rest of the foot to follow. And I don't really count. I kind of just go by the feel. So now I feel like switching directions. So I'm going to switch the other way for circles, and the same exact thing. Have your toes lead and the rest of your foot to follow. You want your lower leg to stay stable. As you're doing this, like I already feel some muscle activation in my hip flexors, which is a good thing. So wherever you start feeling soreness or muscle activation, that's what needs it most. Those are the muscles that need to wake up. So after you do about 20, or after it feels pretty even, going to the other side, then we're going to do point and flex. Point and flex. And the same thing, you want your toes to lead and the rest of your foot to follow. So here I feel a lot more activation on my hip flexors, and I guess they need it. This exercise is very deceiving, but all of a sudden you will feel muscle work. So after you do the same amount of point flexes, if you feel like you could do more, then you can start over and do more. If not, then you can rest that leg and we'll start on the other leg. And again, let's check your sitting. If you can, roll your hips forward so you feel that arch in your lower back. That is the correct sitting position because your upper back will follow. So now I'm going to lift my right leg and start with circles there. As you switch to the other leg, you want to see or feel if one side feels easier than the other. Maybe your problem leg takes a little bit more work. Maybe you feel muscle activation and muscle work faster than the stronger leg. And it's just good to be aware of it, because eventually you want it to even out. So again, as you're doing your circles, you want your toes to lead and the rest of your ankle to follow. And just for the video purposes, I'm not going to do the full routine. And so when you feel ready, we'll switch directions. Okay, so you make sure that the lower leg is not wobbly. I forgot what direction I'm going. I I think it was that one. Make sure the lower leg is stable and it's just the foot that's moving. And after you feel like you've done an equal amount, then we'll go to point and flex. Point and flex. Remember, you always want your toes to lead and the rest of your foot to follow. What this exercise does is it helps to realign your ankle, knee, and hip all at the same time, which will help with your alignment, which will also greatly help walking because it activates all those muscles that we use during walking and especially when you're swinging your legs forward. So wherever you feel the muscle work, that's what needs to be awakened. Okay, and then once you're done, you can do a few pelvic tilts just to kind of even yourself out. Tilt your hips forward, get that arch in your lower back, and then tuck in your hips. We're just working your hips back and forth. And those are the sitting foot circles and point flexes.